Oh, Hanaki! Did you know that our souls are connected by fate? What do you know? I'm Yuno Hanaki, the one and only Oiran from Mialun. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Hello, hello. Ugh, okay. Let me minimize OBS because I don't need to have that open right now. I need to be able to see chat more so. Welcome in, guys. Hope you've had a good weekend. Sorry I blowed up and ditched you on Saturday. I was very tired. If you didn't see it on my sub account, I mentioned that I was intending to sleep in on Saturday, but then the neighbors decided that that was going to be the day they did the noisiest work known to man outside. The worst freaking thing was that, like, when I looked outside, there was like a... Oh god, I don't know the name. It was like, it's a construction vehicle. I want to say it was an excavator, maybe. Anyway, but there was like a construction vehicle in the driveway, so a lot of the sounds that I was hearing was like that excavator digging into like their actual driveway, and then they were like cutting trees in their backyard. So it was loud. It was loud, and it was going on for the entire morning. It literally did not stop until 11:30, and I had intended to stream at 12. And I like to get in a little bit of a nap, or like at least a meditation time before I stream. 30 minutes was not going to be enough after all that. It was not going to be enough. So I was like, nope. Can't do it. Not today. I had like a crash out, and I was like, look, if I'm throwing a temper tantrum over not getting extra sleep, the baby needs to be put back to bed. So I had to cancel. It's kind of embarrassing, but I was really tired. I needed it. It's good that I did it though, because my voice was also kind of tired. I think I would have sounded like a frog if I forced myself to stream again so soon after all the visual novels. But I feel better now, so it's all good. But that was what I was dealing with. Holy moly. That's why for next week, because I've already posted my schedule, Saturday is going to be what yesterday should have been. It's just gonna be a redo. The rain check. Heavy equipment noises all day sucks. Yeah! And like, I was scared that they were going to start up again. I was scared that I was going to do my stream and it was gonna start up again and I was gonna hear it. And like, it doesn't pick up on my mic because I have pretty good noise filtering, but there's always a chance, and I was going to freaking explode if it did. So, figured I should try and avoid all that. Know what I mean? Anyway, excuses are excuses. They will be excuses until the day that I perish, but that is the main reason why I had to dip and take Saturday off also. I didn't want to take off 2 days in a row. Yes, I will take days off. I feel maybe like more than the average streamer perhaps, but like I try not to do it too many days in a row unless it's absolutely necessary. So I felt kind of bad. Yeah, literally it was so bad, and like whatever they were using to cut down the branches in the of the trees was like really high pitched. So it was like a high pitched whirring. And then when it was like hitting the cement, obviously that was like a really like loud scratchy sound. It was bad. I didn't like it. It was not a good time. Not a good time at all. Very unhappy. And like, I said this on my sub account too, but I think it would have been fine if they had started like later in the morning. I still would have been pissed off, but at least if they had done it later in the morning, it would have made more sense. But they started it at right at like 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Like the people in the neighborhood are trying to sleep. What the heck? Because like most of the houses in our neighborhood do not have kids. Like my immediate neighbors have kids, I think, but like most of the houses in this neighborhood don't really have kids. So, you know, people rest on weekends. quiet hours stop at 8 a.m. Okay, but like, noise pollution should still be a thing. Ay, ay, ay. Couldn't verify my number for months. Oh, did you not try the see if it was verified on another account thing? Either way, I'm glad that you're finally free from jail. You'll hear all that noise while streaming, which would be super annoying. Yeah, I know. And like, the worst thing is because I hear it and you guys don't, you would just think I'm crazy, because that's what happens every time my neighbors start like hitting their walls and stuff. Because like, I hear it clear as day and it like jump scares me, but it doesn't pick up on my mic because of my noise filtering, so you guys are just like, okay, you know. And I'm just like, no, please. Why would I lie? Of all things to lie about, why would it be about the level of noise that I'm hearing? The verification OTP came to me an hour after Twitch sent it. What the hecky? Weird. I didn't have that issue at all when I was verifying my number. It did take me a little bit of extra time, but like, not that long. Weird. You know Hanaki, infamous truth teller? Yeah, why would I lie? I obscure and I hide things, but I don't lie. In recent memory, I cannot think of a time in which I lied to you. You know, isn't crazy? She's just passionate. Passionate about the loud noises driving me crazy, yes. But anyways, so I took another day to rest, which was good for me. Hitomi introduced a brain rot game that I've been playing, and I've already almost beat it. This is gonna be the first game that I've ever gotten like all the achievements for. Which I think is bad, because that means I got all of the achievements for it in like 2-3 days. Ahahaha. Well, okay, I haven't gotten it yet because there's one more that's like RNG based that I have to get, and I keep fumbling the bag every time it does show up, so I'm probably going to be stuck in jail for a while. Passionate about having some peace and quiet. I'm literally like a fucking old man yelling at the clouds, just like, shut up! Everybody leave me alone! Let me stream in peace! But yeah, it's called Witchy Business. It has a really addicting gameplay loop. It does nice things to my brain. And I've almost got all of the achievements besides the one RNG based one, like I mentioned. Which is bad because I specifically asked Hitomi for a recommendation for a game where I could just turn my brain off and play game. So the fact that I've already almost like completely beaten it, I'm just like, well, then what do I do afterwards? I guess just continue to play the gameplay loop. Because I don't think it has an actual like end. But it's not going to have a lot of substance after this either, though. I've kind of played myself. Them teenagers, get off my lawn! Literally, though. Sometimes it really do be like that. I see it's also a women game. There are a lot of pretty witches, yes. However, the witches do not have a lot of substance. I guess more so, the game gives you ways to kind of avoid having conversations with the witches if you still want to raise their affection. You can just like give them one-off gifts or make wands for them instead of having conversations to like learn about them. But yes, yes, there are pretty women. There's a couple boy witches too, which is fun. The first one that I maxed affection for was the Solar Witch, who is a boy. Apparently, according to the canon material, he's like very arrogant and full of himself. And yet he was the first one I charmed, so what does that say about me? Smile. Why does make wands sound sus? It's not! You make them wands for particular elemental spells. You legitimately are making them wands. Real ones. For their particular spell casting. You a narcissist. It's more so that I am so likable that I charmed the narcissist, but sure, we can call me a narcissist, I guess. I can't be a true narcissist yet, I don't have my rig. As soon as I have my 2.0 rig, then yes, I will be a narcissist. I'm not there yet, though. We got time. When Yuno said get off my lawn, I just pictured her as Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Get off my lawn! Please. Have you come across the anime Maria the Virgin Witch? I have heard of it. I don't think I've watched it, but I've heard of it. The title is familiar. Unfortunately, I know a lot of titles, but I might not have watched the thing. That does imply the existence of a love wand. There is not one. There's all the, like, basic elements, and then there's, like, time, moon, sun, celestial, all-powerful, smart wand. You would think because I've played this game so much and I've made a lot of fucking wands, I would remember all the types. I don't. But there is no love wand. That much I can tell you for sure. Witch boy giving limbo energy, of course. No! Limbo's not a narcissist. He's confident, but he's not a narcissist. But yeah, as far as I know, the two boy witches are the Solar Witch and the Time Witch. The Time Witch is like a busybody, obsessed with, you know, being on time and making sure everyone else is on time to things. So he's like a tired, stressed out workaholic type. This is my fire girlfriend, my water girlfriend, and my smart girlfriend. Literally, that's what the bookworm witch is. She's the one that teaches you how to make the smart wand. That's literally very correct. But no, it's a fun game. I just kind of wish there was more to those character interactions. Also, now that I've maxed them all out, I've like become the master of the coven. But now I can't talk to them at all. Like whenever I go to the coven to check on them, they just give me items and then I don't get to hear them talk, which is kind of sad. Like, I would have liked it if I could still just have, like, little, like, one-off conversations with them, even if that was what caused the item drop, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a bummer that, like, now that I've maxed them out, they just don't say anything. They just hang out there. And they will occasionally come to the shop and request new wands for magic, but then I'm also just like, they don't really talk here either. They just appear and are like, will you make this? And I'll be like, okay, and then they leave. you said boy witch, I was thinking boy and witch equals bitch. Yes, the two bitches. I've become master of the coven, of course, with a goal like that. No wonder you speedran it. No, it wasn't intentional. It still took time. You're supposed to, like, there's like multiple goals within the game. Like, one obviously is to get your shop to be super popular. Unlocking all of the recipes for all the potions you can make. And then, you know, mastering all of the relationship levels makes you the master of the coven. I mastered the coven last. Take this wand of knowledge, that's a book. I cast no backtalk. No, it's a legitimate wand. It's like a kind of steampunk looking wand compared to all the super fantasy looking ones. So, you know, the power of being smart is technology. But yeah, it is an enjoyable game. I liked it. I keep having the joke thought, I keep thinking about the bit that Isla-sama often does where she'll like write a review of a game that she obviously really did like. But she'll like go onto Steam and be like, didn't like it. I keep thinking that's gonna happen to me. Like I'm gonna get the last achievement that I need, and then I'm gonna go review it on the page and be like, I didn't like it very much. Steampunk wand is a gun? Mm-mm. It is actually styled like a wand, and it works like a wand. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't seem very gun-coded to me. As Master of the Coven, there will be changes. All female witches will be required to wear tiny miniskirts. So true. No, they already wear quite mini skirts. I guess besides the, oh my god, what's the term for them? Like the higher level witches wear long skirts, but a lot of the other witches, they're wearing like either shorts or mini skirts. Hello, Yuno. Just wanted to say many thanks for the extra long Onimon last week. It helped ease the pain of a nearly 6-hour drive combined by myself. Wonderful! I'm glad that it could be some good company for you while you were driving. Thank you. Earned mini skirts and my attention was immediately swayed. Yeah, sorry. Very distracting. Mini skirt moment. Clearly the best use is to channel a spell for light anytime someone has an idea. Light bulb gags are eternal. I wish I could see how they use them. Like, it's very funny that as a witch, most of my magic goes into more like alchemy stuff and then like the making of the wands. I don't get to see what the other witches do once they commission the wands from me. Like, I have little bits of magic when I'm running the shop too, because during the shop portion, you're like in the shop for about 2 minutes, I think. And during that time, that's when all of the customers come, but you also have like ops. There's like little mini events that occur where you have to use your magic to like get rid of certain like more problem visitors or like cure their like magical ailments or what have you. So like I do see like my character use magic, but it's not the same magic as the other witches use, I presume. I don't know. Clearly this game is not built for like a narrative like that. But this is the problem of having my brain, is I want there to be a story, and then when there isn't one, I'm just like, well, either I have to autofill this, or clearly there's something missing. Not the obs. Yeah, I got obs. There's like a thief who comes in and she like slowly drains your money unless you hit her 3 times with your magic wand. Not like physically bonk her, obviously, but like hit her with spells. There's a cat who constantly gets trapped in magical slime. And there's 2 variants of it. There's the green slime that you just have to like suck into your magic jar of slime holding. And then there's a second one where it's orange slime, and then you have to use your wand on it to get rid of the magic effect on the slime, and then you suck the slime into the slime jar. So it's just an extra step to be annoying. And then there's like a specter, kind of like a haunted, cursed ghost orb that you have to suck the smoke around it into. And then there's also like an evil version of the little smoke guy where you have to use magic on one spell circle on the guy's head, and then you suck him up into the jar of holding. And then there's like a little sheep character who is asleep, and you have to click all the Z's from her snoring to wake her up. What else is there? I have more ops, I promise. Those are some sentences. They are true sentences. Like I said earlier, when would I lie? Why would I lie also? I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a thing. Oh, there's like a Onesan looking character who shows up wanting her fortune told, and I have to hold up the crystal ball to somewhere on her body to like suck up all of the vibes into the crystal ball. That's another op that I have. Demons are known to be quite evil. This is true and correct information. Demons have only ever been evil. Suck up the vibes. Yes. Because it's absorbing her vibes, her aura, into the crystal ball so that we can better see her future. Yes. Real term. This is a very tall-ass bank, by the way. Focusing on the current game at hand. Look at all these freaking layers. Bank? I thought this was a dungeon. No, 90% sure this is a bank. We're on the city level. We are in a more modern scenario for this section. I guess this is just a dungeon for money. This is money jail, I would say. Yes. This is where your money goes to prison forever. Until you spend it like an idiot. Like a freaking chump. Sentence of all time. I'm actually just really good at communicating. I'm sorry you're not on my level just yet. One day you'll understand. Dodge the traps, avoid the dungeon guards, loot the treasure. Welcome to the first national dungeon. So true. That's what Lynn means when she says she's going on a heist. She's going to the first national dungeon. Truly the breadwinner. She wins by defeating the dungeon. There we go. It's the bank. Wow. Nice time lapse. Yes, sir. Yippee. Well, yeah. I constantly wonder what the little trash can is for on the bottom left whenever it comes to, like, closing out of the level. I wonder if that just means you delete all your progress and you'd start over. I don't know why you would do that. I don't think you can actually, like, change anything. But I guess if you're like, okay, now I do it again. Which I suppose you are allowed to do if you want. Now I'm building a skyscraper. This is gonna be a tall one. A tall boy. Check back in like 20 minutes when I have forgotten that I'm making a skyscraper and I'm complaining about how tall it is. Damn, that shit's orange. Yuno's PC, do your best. Ever since I adjusted some of the settings, I think it's been, like, overall better. Even for the really tall ones. It feels like it runs more smoothly than it did before. We'll have to see just how bad it can get, though. As I said, check back in a bit. Those who can't be tall create it. I just make the tall stuff. Wah-ba-ba. Hanaki, welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my god. I spoke it into fucking existence. I can hear the neighbors slamming around. At least they're doing it during daylight hours. I guess I'd rather it be now than at, like, super late night. I fucking manifested this. It's fine, I'm chill. Everything's fine. You know, manifesting. I didn't want to manifest this, though. There's a lot of things I want to manifest, not this. Not this one. Why is only half this layer checkerboarded? Nani. Also, those random orange and green tiles, huh? This is the skyscraper of all time. Oh, there's like a barrier there? What? What are those colors? What is that for? Man. Life's greatest mysteries. But yeah, that was kind of the bulk of what I've been playing off stream. Well, I guess also Star Rail. I finished the Star Rail update finally. And I pulled for Evernight. I debated if I was going to maybe do it on stream, but I decided not to. I got Evernight in 3 pulls, which is actually kind of wild because in one of the 10 pulls I did, I got Fushwen because she's one of the ones I wanted a dupe of. So I was like, no, Fushwen, my rates. But then the literal like next 2 pulls I did, Evernight came home. So I was like, phew. And I still had like over 10k Jade because I've been saving for Evernight for a hot minute. Both Evernight and Terravox, I've been saving for them desperately. I didn't end up having to save for Terravox because they're giving us a free copy of him in a couple of days, like about a week or so, which is nice. So because I have the excess funds, I was like, maybe I should try to get Evernight's Light Cone because Remembrance is still kind of neglected. We've had all these Remembrance cards coming out, but like we have a couple 4-star options for Light Cones. Most of the options are the 5-star Light Cones that come with the new units though. And then I pulled Evernight's Light Cone in 2 pulls. So Evernight really likes me basically. That's my wife. That's wife. I did not have this good of luck with like any of my other Star Rail wives, so I guess Evernight is like, you don't need them. And I'm just like, you're so right, queen, I don't need them. When Fushwen came out, I was streaming my pulls on Discord and pulled 3 of her Light Cone and 1 10 pull. Holy moly. That's pretty good luck. Until the next wife drops? No, no, no. Well, I mean, also technically yes. I'm waiting for the Kirene gacha. She's gonna be after Terravox, I believe. I'm waiting for her because I know she looks very pribby women, and I do want her. But I was also kind of hoping to try and get I don't remember. I don't know who's coming out at the same time as that in that pool. Because I also have to be ready for a Finon rerun because I really want Finon. I really want Finon. He's so fucking useful for like exploration stuff. Not just like normal combat. Kinda want him. Kinda want him. I didn't get him when he was here. I had tried to pull, but he didn't want to show up. Because he's mean. Hanaki, welcome in. Alicia Kiride is my wife, but I don't play anymore. Yeah, that's fair. I dropped like $400 on the Alicia, her Sure of Origin Humanity banner and got the full set in Honkai Impact 3rd. That is very fair. Hello, Chibi girl. I've been demoted to Chibi because I'm using the Chibi model. That's fair. But yes, hello, Hanaki. But yeah, I played through the Star Rail story update, and then I got Evernight. Evernight is fully built now also. I maxed out the... Well, I didn't like max out, but like I leveled up the light cone. She is now strong, which I'm happy about. You know, until the power creep destroys her, but it's fine. Until then, she's great. I love her. I needed another offensive ice type anyway, because the only other one I have is the Herda. And I guess I do have Jingliu, but I really have not used Jingliu ever since power creep happened. She has just not been one of the useful options. Which is a shame because I love Jingliu. I still can't even get the right relics for Evernight. I burned everything I had. I burned everything I had so that I could outfit her well. I'm pretty good at hoarding for that reason. I used all of my self-modeling resin so that I could make sure that the stuff that I pulled had the right stats. She kind of deserved it because she came home so effortlessly. But that does mean I'm going to have to play through more of these events so that I can get some of those materials for Terravox as well. Terravox, Donhung, I need you to be well fitted as well. Please. Please, my boy, please. I love him so much. If I go back, I'm still using Jingyuan and Topaz and Fushuen. Well, Topaz still has a little bit of utility in like follow-up attack teams. Because I still have one of the more optimal follow-up attack lineups. And my Topaz does pretty well over there. Fushuen's definitely been outclassed. Jingyuan, I mean, it depends. I don't really have Jingyuan, so I don't actually know how useful he is or isn't anymore, because I've never really had him. Oh my god, Bright. Flashbang. Used all my mats to get relics for the Fate collab characters. I have only scraps for Evernight. See, good news. Me not caring about Fate means I didn't really bother to build those characters. Granted, I also didn't even pull for Saber. I took my free Archer, and then I was like, all right. And then I built him with the materials that they gave us to get him to 60, and then I was like, all right. I think he's still only at like 70. I haven't bothered to build him up to 80. He's cool and all. I just don't foresee me using him all that much. He's still really good, just needs Sunday, I think. A lot of characters just need Sunday. Sunday's a really good support, which is annoying to me because I did not want to pull him at all. But he's like a super recommended support. The other thing that pisses me off is that as nice as it is that I got Evernight, all of the team recommendations say that I need Tribby, but I didn't want to pull for Tribby. So I'm just like, man. Most optimal setups have Tribby. There's like, you can like replace Tribby with like Remembrance Trailblazer, I guess. It's just not as optimal, so I'm just like, man. Granted, I still think my team is doing a pretty good job, so I'm like not too worried about it. And one of the optimal teams has my girl Casterus in it, so that's a win in the Yuno Hanaki book. I love Casterus. If I was going to commission artwork of Yuno Hanaki as any Star Rail character, I guess besides like the Trailblazer, because that's the main character, it would probably be Casterus. I love Casterus's fit. Jade, my wife? Of course you fucking like Jade. I don't care for Jade as a character at all. And I was really pissed off when she had a follow-up attack kit, because that meant that she probably would have been really good for my like overall follow-up attack team. But I was just like, no, I'm not pulling her. Just by principle, I'm not pulling her. Should have made your tribute. No. I will not pull for Chibi. They are very cute. And I want to pull for Chibi. Archer's crying in his corner. I don't think Archer would cry. He would just be like, understandable. I can be strong no matter how much attention you pay me. And I'm just like, okay, sir. Have a good day. Shapes and colors takes me back to simpler times. Yeah. I like this game. It's been a while since then, but this was a game that was, that approached me via Keymailer to like try out the demo. And the demo just had so much more material in it that I was just like, I'm gonna keep playing. Like, this is still the demo and we have like 3 or 4 more sections. Truly crazy. Can't wait until the full game comes out and then there's like 8 million levels to color. I love that for me. Is it worth trying to get back into Star Rail? I played it briefly when it came out for consoles, but it didn't hook me for long. It depends on... I think if it didn't hook you much in the beginning, it might be hard to get it to... Well, okay. Personally, I do really think the Belobog story, which is the first, like, world, the first section, is good, but it's a bit of a slow burn. It takes some time to, like, really enjoy it. Like, the Herta Space Station stuff takes a while and can be kind of hard to, like, get through in some ways. But I do really like Belobog. I did not care for the Lofu storyline. Loved Pinaconi. And I'm enjoying Amphorius. Personally. But I think it just depends on, like, if you're okay with that kind of slow start of, like, the space station and then, like, eventually getting through Belobog. Belobog can be slow at parts. But I think that like, it builds into something pretty cool. I still think nothing in Star Rail has really beat the majesty of that first big, like, climactic boss fight in Belobog. Like, I just don't think anything has beat it yet, for me. It's come close. Like, they tried to do some stuff in Pinaconi with, like, more epic boss fights with, like, really cool, like, swelling music and what have you, but the magic is not quite the same there. And then same with Amphorius. Amphorius is more... I would say it's arguably more plot heavy. Like, it feels like a lot of the story updates are you just, like, sitting and watching cutscenes, which is good for somebody like me that loves stories, but this was also the world, like, the section where they introduced the fucking skip button for people who don't care about the story, which I think says a lot about how fucking yappy Amphorius is. Are they permanent storylines or limited time? Oh, they're permanent. Because Star Rail is like a single player game, they're permanent. Certain event stories are not permanent, but there are, like, archives that you can, like, go back and, like, consume them for certain ones, or, like, replay them for certain ones too. But But yeah, the main stories are all permanent. Since it's a single-player narrative experience, technically. The Herda is also my wife. Again, of course you like the Herda. Wouldn't mind Yuno in a Ranmei outfit. Oh, honestly, true. I do really like Ranmei. And I do think that Yuno would look really pretty in her outfit. My kind of crazy wife. I love her so much. Shocker, writing nerd likes the slow burn in-depth world building. Oh, I fucking love it, dude. One of the other reasons Dan Heng is one of my favorite characters is because he's the one that maintains the archive on the Express, and I'm just like, bro, me. If I was the actual Trailblazer, I would be helping him. Although they canonically make Trailblazer dumb as rocks, and they don't have Trailblazer enjoy reading. Are you trying to say I have a type? No, you're saying you have a type. But yeah, I think that, like, it's a bit of a slow start, and it can be really hard if it doesn't immediately hook you. I was just lucky that I played it upon release, and then it happened to hook me. I was able to, like, lock in, because this is back when I was unemployed AF. I mean, I still am. But, like, when I was more unemployed, as in I wasn't even streaming in Kawaii yet, because that game came out in like April 2023. Yeah, so the auditions hadn't even opened yet. But yeah, this is back in my super unemployed era, so I was able to lock in, and I got through Bellabog within like 3 or 4 days of playing, I think. I locked in real hard. When the game started, it had all of Bellabog available to get through, and then you could start the Lofu storyline, but like, then there was a point where it stopped, and you had to wait for like the patch updates. Being able to no-life it, I think, is what made it enjoyable for me at the time. Because I was able to, like, lock in and, like, get through the slog just to, like, really see if I was going to like it. Because I figured if I didn't like the first world, then that would be enough of, like, a equivalent of an anime 3-episode try for me to decide if I was going to want to keep playing. But also at the time, I was in a friend group where everybody really liked Honkai Impact 3rd and, like, that kind of stuff. So I remember one of the big things was that they were constantly showing me stuff from Honkai Impact 3rd to be like, this is what it's referencing in Star Rail. And I was like, okay, I don't think I needed to have this information, but it's cool. And I love your passion. So I have a lot of fond memories of that too. Super unemployment, the same as regular unemployment, but with a cape. Yes. That's me. Trailblazer is basically a trash panda in the first chapter. Well, to give them some credit, they don't really have a lot of memories yet. So they're allowed to be a little bit, like, head empty. I do think they've become less head empty as the story has progressed. Which I'm very grateful for because, you know, I always wanted to play Trailblazer a little bit more seriously, so when a lot of their answers are jokey, I'm just like, man. And then there's always parts in the story where it's just like, wow, you're being uncharacteristically serious. Normally you're cracking jokes or saying dumb shit, and I'm just like, can you not typecast me based on how other people answer these fucking questions? I'm employed by the school system to study and by Twitch to invade Twitch chats and keep the flow going. None of them I get paid for, but they should. I don't think that's employment then if you're not being paid. I think that's just your hobby, dude. Well, I guess besides studying. I'm the total opposite. I always make the trailblazer a clown. I love that for you. I will occasionally choose the silly answers. It depends on who I'm talking to within the narrative, but during like actual serious story beats, I try to pick the more serious trailblazer options. And then that's when the other characters are just like, wow, uncharacteristically serious coming from you. And I'm just like, I've been choosing nothing but the serious options. This game should be interpreting me as a serious character. Please. Stop typecasting me. I don't like this pigeonhole. Trailblazer is not a trash can enthusiast anymore. Like, literally, they have not mentioned trash, I think, since, like, beginning of Pinaconi, maybe? Like, technically, you can still interact with trash cans, but, like, they're not characterized that way anymore. Bad game. Like, now they're just being kind of characterized as, like, a jokester and then, like, a person who is dumb as rocks and does not read books. And things like that. I like how the other characters always just stare at you with disbelief when you choose the stupid answers. Well, they used to. But nowadays they're just like, yeah, you would fucking say that. They're just like, yeah, that makes sense. At least when it comes to, like, the rest of the Express crew. If it's newer characters, then maybe they're just like, oh, wow, you're dumber than we thought you were. The rest of the Astro Express is just like, you must be new. Water is also wet. But yeah, I guess, like, for the overall question, I think it does require a bit of a time sink before you can really figure it out. My personal suggestion would be to at least try to get further into Bellabog before, like, making a decision. But, like, also, if you don't like the turn-based combat, or if you don't like how you're supposed to level up characters and stuff, that could be a little bit detrimental as well. But I do think that Star Rail has done a decent job of making the game, like, better for newer players and also still, like, keeping it appealing for like, veteran players. Because they have, like, new currencies for, like, leveling up characters that makes it a bit easier to level. And they have, like, they let you, like, unlock certain, like, calyxes and nodes for getting, like, leveling up materials for characters, even if you haven't unlocked that world yet. Like, you can still, like, quick warp there to get the stuff that you need for the character. They have, like, the exchange currencies that let you exchange for, like, a free 5-star. I think, like, it's gotten better compared to where it was in the beginning, for sure. In terms of, like, actual, like, gameplay. And they have some, like, fun, post-story modes. So, like, even if there's no, like, events or anything going on, you can still kind of enjoy the, combat and, like, there's, like, stuff that you can do to, like, feel like you are grinding or, like, making progress as a player. Also. Which I think is neat. Gacha games are best enjoyed when you can drop a couple $100 a month on them unless you have really good self-control. Otherwise, power creep FOMO will make you more sad than happy. I disagree. I don't spend money in Star Rail. I literally never have. I just save. I just save for characters that I want, and I'm like, well, okay, I have spent a little bit of money in Star Rail, but I've never spent hundreds. I think the most I ever spent at once for a gacha was like 50. That's why I said unless you have really good self-control. But that's what I mean. Like, I think that even when there's like a patch where I know that I want both characters, even if I just pulled for both characters in the one that's currently active, they give you enough means to save that, like, it's not hard. Even if you don't have good self-control. Like, even if you know those characters are coming that you really want, it's not hard to save. But that's also just my opinion. But I think especially because, at least with Star Rail, you're only really competing against yourself because there's no... Oh, this is actually kind of a cool looking one. You're only competing against yourself because there's no multiplayer components, really, besides, like, one-offs for, like, mini-games or, like, one-off events where you can interact with other players, kind of. Because there's no real multiplayer, you're only really competing against yourself. So you can make the game what you want to make of it. And you're not, like, being forced to pull. Like, as much as I complain, like, oh, this character would be good for this, like, team build or whatever, I don't feel like I'm being forced to pull, which is why when you guys are like, well, just pull for Tribby, idiot. I'm just like, no, I don't want her, so I'm not gonna pull for her. Yeah, that means my team's less optimal, but it doesn't really matter to me because I'm only really competing with myself. I compete against myself to clear stuff like MOC and weekly challenge content. That's what I'm saying, too. Like, you're only competing with yourself. The game is what you make of it based on, like, who you want to pull for. And if you can make your team work, even if it's not quote-unquote optimal, then you're fine. Which I think makes it better than some other gacha games where it kind of feels like you have to pull in order to keep up with all of the other players. Like, since you're only competing against yourself, you don't have that urge to, like, pull the meta cards so that you can stay on top of leaderboards. There isn't really a leaderboard in Star Rail. Good morning, Hanaki. My easy rule is if I like the gacha, I will spend capped at $75 because that's the cost of a game. That's a smart way to go about it. As someone who has played gacha to the point of going into debt before, I guess that's also part of why I have really good self-control now. But I think at least with games like Star Rail, they do a really good job of helping you save by giving you a lot of events where you can grind for, like, gacha currency. I've never felt like it's been particularly aggressive or predatory with its gacha practices. However, there are games that can be predatory with their gachas. Looks at Infinity, Nikki. I was really enjoying that game until they started getting really fucking awful with their gacha. And, like, other things that were going wrong with the game at the time. When there was that big, massive boycott, I was just like, yeah, no, this is getting bad. But I feel like Star Rail is one of the ones that isn't particularly aggressive with it. I have a set amount per month I set aside for all gacha I'm currently playing. That makes sense. If you have the income to, like, budget it out, that makes sense to me. Girlcott. Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry. They did have to start calling it a girlcott because when they tried to call it a boycott on the Reddit, it was getting blocked because of the word. The mods had, like, put up, like, a filter to try and get rid of all of the boycott-related posts. They started calling it girlcott instead, which I think is fucking awesome. But, like, I cannot think of a worse case of a fumbled bag. Like, Infinity Nikki was doing so fucking good as a game, and then they just had to fuck it up by not treating it right. Like, there's clearly proof in the pudding that, like, girls deserve to have gacha games that, like, cater specifically to girls and girly interests. But Infold was just like, but what if we made it bad? What if we made it bad and awful and we fucking hated you? And that was what happened there. And it really is a shame. I probably would have played it so much more if they didn't fumble that bag so ridiculously. But what about our interests, the investors? No, literally. You're so right. I've also heard that Love and Deep Space is going through the same thing because, fun fact, Love and Deep Space and Infinity Nikki are both in-fold gachas, if you didn't know that. Anyway, Love and Deep Space is going through the same kind of shit right now. So they're basically fumbling all of their girly gachas. I know nothing about Girl Catered Gacha, but hopefully Love and Deep Space doesn't drop this ball because it seems like they're making bank. Like, they are currently, but they are also fumbling the bag really hard over there. And I think a lot of people are kind of dealing with the sunk cost fallacy of, I spent this much money on my 2D or 3D husband. And I don't want to quit because I've spent this much money on him. But, like, Infold's fumbling the bag with that game too. Maybe to a lesser extent, but they are still fumbling. I think in that game it's worse when it comes to like getting level up materials. Like, obviously the gacha rates are also pretty predatory and bad, but I've heard that the main thing is that, like, it's really hard to grind for materials to level the cards up. And then they keep releasing new cards, like, super frequently. And there isn't really a good way to predict when your particular favorite is going to get a card, like a limited card, or if there's going to be, like, a full cast set. That can also be frustrating. But it's apparently very hard to, like, level up your characters and like get the grinding materials, because it is actually a very combat heavy game too. It's not just for sobbing and crying over pretty men, surprisingly. But so like it's that, and then it's also like the unpredictability of the gacha, like when certain characters are going to be featured or not featured. And then just how much it overall costs even to like pull in the gacha, because I hear their rates are pretty bad. It's a lot. I'm glad I've never actually played. I've only been interested in the characters. I consume the story passively through other means. They had so much potential for both games. Yeah, and because Infold is like, what if we want more money? They keep changing it in order to, like, do things that they think will earn them more money. But it's angering a lot of the core fan bases. So it's only going to get them so far. Anyway. I'm like in phases with Star Rail. Like, honestly, I don't play it that much anymore. Like, I keep up with the story because I'm really passionate about that side of it. But like, once I finish the story and once I finish whatever the event that came along with the story was, I usually won't touch it again until like the next patch. I'm kind of bad about like doing the post-game content. I guess I can only do so much like Memory of Chaos and all the other post-game modes before I get kind of tired of it. But I'm trying to be better because I want to be able to play it more. I just have to remember that these gacha games have an end of service because they're online only component, and that helps temper my spending. I suppose that's fair. I mean, there are some games that have lasted a long time though, despite being online like that. But if it helps you temper your spending, then by all means, do what you gotta do. On the other hand, there's an upcoming game called Unavailable that shifted from being gacha to being more grinding Warframe. Wonder how egregious the monetization will be. I was kind of curious about that one. It was just kind of like, huh. But then, like, they keep... A lot of their advertisements lately, though, have been like, get 2 free 10 pulls, and I'm just like, I thought you weren't gonna be a gacha. I think it's more that you can earn the currency in-game, rather than having to buy the gacha currency. They must be planning to have really fucking good skins if they think they can get away with no longer being a full gacha in that regard. Oh no, I missed one. Oh, it's up here. They must be very confident in, like, their plans for their skins and stuff. Very, very confident. Same with Ananta. I wonder how that'll play out since they say it's all cosmetics too. Girls Frontline 2 also suffering from greed. Hoyover's gacha rates and devs were like, do you know what this game needs? A skin gacha. I fucking hate skin gacha. The beginning of the end of my love for playing Nikke, I think, was when they added that frickin' premium gacha for, like, the special outfits. Special outfitted versions of characters. I was like, you can't fucking do that to me. Premium cosmetic gacha? No. Like, you literally have to pay in order to get the outfit? No. I don't care if it just meant that it had really low odds. The fact that you can't get it from, like, the beginning pulls at all, and you have to pay the money if you want to get the costume. I literally never did it. Not even for my wives. Because I hated it. I was always trying to be a stubborn holdout. And then one of my friends was like, oh, I hate it too. And then what did he do? Still pulling it. Still give them money. Because a outfit for one of his wives came out and he was like, well, now I gotta. And I was like, stop. You can't give in even if it's for a favorite character. Like, I fucking loved the outfit that they gave Dorothy and the outfit they gave Madernia. I still didn't cave. Because I think that shit sucks. You gotta stick to your guns, even if your wife is involved, man. Yeah, but you know, we're men, and I'm a woman who fucking loves women. That's not comparable. It's not our fault. It's not about male instincts. I love women. But you should be willing to stand on fucking business, because otherwise these companies are going to think that they can get away with that shit. Shift Up had been so good until they introduced that fucking costume gacha. Everything else about Nikke was pretty great, and then the costume gacha happened, and then it just went fucking downhill. I hate that too. I don't mind spending on $20 skins though. Scarlet skin is the only $60 skin I have, and that was only because of the promotion. No, I agree. I do think that the $20 pack skins are fine because they also come with like currency and like materials and stuff. It feels more worth it. You could technically argue the same thing is true of the costume gacha, but you're spending way more money on that shit just for it to like gradually like come home in pulls. And that's just really frustrating. Don't you want to grind for cloth dyes? I would rather claw out my eyeballs. One of many things Infinity Nikki did that was so fucked up. And the fact that they locked like monochrome colors behind having to like grind for the costume dye, ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Never gonna not be mad about that. That'll give you purple dye, good thinking. Hanaki, hope you're all having a nice weekend so far. How goes the voxeling? Voxeling is good. We are talking about predatory gacha games as I color. That is the current, well, kind of the current chat topic. There was a bit of a lull, but still. Well, the voxeling is good. Hanaki, welcome in. Shift Up for the most part isn't as bad as they could be, though. They've had their hiccups, so I still think they're decent in terms of gacha companies. No, I agree. As much as I'm complaining about the costume gacha because I fucking hate it, and I hate how easily everybody around me folded, I do think that overall, as a gacha, they're doing a pretty decent job. I just really wish they weren't enabled by people being willing to put up with the costume gacha. I wish people had more self-restraint, but, you know. It be like that sometimes. I guess, like, if you have the disposable income, it's fine, because you do get materials and you do get the costume at the end. But it's just, like, I don't know, man. That's a lot of money to drop on a very gradual drip of a gacha. I heard complaining about a strict lack of dye colors. Which game are you talking about? Infinity Nikki. They introduced a dyeing mechanic because a lot of people wanted to have certain clothes in certain colorways. But you had to, like, either pay for or grind for the dye, and there were certain colors that it just didn't make sense to have them not be available as a default color. Like, certain outfits would have certain dyes, certain, like, dyes kind of available by default, or that you could unlock by, like, leveling up the outfit. But then if you wanted to make it a certain color that's, like, not one of those default colors that you unlock, you had to pay for material, or you had to grind to get material that would allow you to dye it that particular color. And what I'm specifically complaining about is that black and white is one of those colors you had to pay for. You had to pay for black and white coloration, which I guess is because this is meant to be a girly game where you're supposed to be okay with all the bright pastel colors, but, like, come on. Black and white, though? Those are, like, the most common accent colors. And then there was also, like, they, like, really fumbled their bag narratively. Like, they tried to retcon their initial plans for the story. And they, like, retconned how the game starts now compared to where it started in the beginning. in order to like accommodate this like feature that they added that was super buggy on release. They did not really try to bug fix that at all. And then and then they started changing up the gacha to where certain pieces, there would be cases where like outfits would be way more pieces than necessary because they wanted you to keep pulling in the gacha to get all the pieces to complete an outfit. And then they started doing this neat thing where things where it makes sense for them to be separate so that you can control the coloration separately or like mix and match pieces, they would force those pieces to be glued together so you couldn't style them any other way besides with the pieces that go with them in the outfit gacha. Because styling games obviously should force you to have only one outfit combination. Are you fucking for real? Like, the initial ethos of the game was supposed to be you don't have to pull for entire outfit sets because you can just get a couple pieces and then be able to style them with what you already have. But then they started making these certain pieces be glued together. So, like, say, for example, there was an outfit that looks like it should be a top and a skirt. Let's go with this as just an example, right? They would be stuck together, so you couldn't style with just the top or just the skirt. It would be stuck together like a dress, even though it doesn't make sense for them to be stuck together. And then you'd have to style it, like, as one combined piece, which means you can't, you know, make it look good with the other pieces that you have. But this is just, like, an example. Kind of a bad example, but that's, like, the vibe, basically. And then for people who were trying to be outfit completionists and wanted, like, entire things, they would then make the pieces also be, like, super spread out so that you'd have to, like, spend a lot more in the gacha to guarantee you could get all the pieces. Like, 5-star outfits started being like 14, 15 pieces, which is way too many pieces. But that's just like a handful of the many things that Infinity Nikki did to like fully drop the ball. There's a lot more, but it's been a bit since I've thought about it, so I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. Kind of the struggle with the free-to-play wave. They make money by selling people things they want. The easiest way to do it is to charge money for basic stuff most people want. Shitty and anti-consumer, but at the end of the day, as long as there are whales shelling out, the trend probably isn't going anywhere. I suppose so. I do definitely think that Infinity Nikki was one of those games where it made you feel on top of the world in the beginning, like when you start the game, because it's so easy to like generate the pull currency. But then, like, the further you go, they started becoming more and more stingy with the output of like pull currency that you could even grind, whether it be through completing the story or through completing like missions. Events also very rarely gave out pull currency, if ever, or it would be like a very small amount if they did. So it got to a point where like most of the 5-star currency you could really only get by buying it because they were just not giving you enough of it for completing story parts. I told my friend that what happened for Vinny Nikki, she didn't really believe me. Well, a lot of people were lured in by the fact that it was like a gacha game that was finally being aimed at women, and since it was such a newer like vibe, I guess a lot of people thought that they were going to be more aware of like the onus that was being put upon them, but they were not. They were aware of the fact that it was a new market, a new set of wallets to pull money from, and that was about it. We've given you the dopamine high, you'll pay great amounts to chase that high again. But like, actually, I think I spent a little bit of money on Infinity Nikki. I can't recall if I ever spent like a lot. I don't think so though. I'm trying to remember if I spent money at all. I think I did once. But other than that, I was free to play, and I remember being very frustrated by how hard it was to grind in that game. I had to like look up guides to get a lot of the one-off crystals. They were to bring balance to the gacha, not throw it in darkness. But like, actually, I don't know. I just think that was truly one of the biggest bag fumbles of gacha history. Obviously, there have been other gacha that have done bad things, but like, just considering the untapped market that they were trying to get into, it's just crazy how much that fumbled. A lot of creators that I subscribed to because they were making Infinity Nikki content literally aren't making Infinity Nikki content anymore. Like, one pivoted to Uma Musume, one pivoted to Silk Song, one pivoted to like fucking some other like weird, not gacha game, but like some other like weird game that I ended up not really caring for, so I like fully unsubscribed, and it was just like, wow. They had so many people that had been so ride or die, but then they fucked up. Turns out finite Nikki, literally. I'll be real, I haven't spent money on gacha for a good bit, but if Nikkei ever releases another Annis unit, I'm finished. I'm finished, I'm washed. It's understandable. But good on you for not having spent in a while. I get it. If it's for best girl, a lot of times, even the strongest will may crumble. I've reallocated my funds from gacha to VTubers, camera, car. That's good. I made it clear here in the past that I'm not the biggest gacha fan, but I still play Uma and have spent a shocking amount of money over the years on League of Legends, so as a man in a glass house, I'll refrain from throwing stones. You're so real for that. I mean, that's the thing. Even if you don't spend on gacha, there's like probably something in your life that you spend money on that's like comparable. Which, you know, I would say League of Legends counts for that. Never spent on gacha, but I've spent on other games, so same. Like paying for passes in certain games so that you can like get the extra daily logins. Stuff like crazy priced DLC looks at Pokemon. Man that saw Ari's skin and went, You're real for that. But like, at least in those cases, you are like guaranteed to get what you are buying. So I don't think it's too bad. I do think there's a certain like, I don't want to call it shame because I've been there, but there is like a certain walk of shame that happens when you have to like gacha for something that you want, when you have to gamble. And like I've said this before too, I'm coming from this with the experience of having gone into debt for, well, yeah, gone into debt for a gacha game before. I spent way too much fucking money on Idler 7. Considering I like don't even touch it now, I spent way too much fucking money on that game. But I also thought that Idler 7 was going to be my forever game, so I thought it was worth it. It wasn't. Me with Genshin. Aw, man. I think I spent a little bit on Genshin, but luckily I fell out of love with Genshin pretty fast. I really liked the story, but I was not a fan of the difficulty spike, the forced difficulty spike. I believe I have been told that that's like less of a thing now, or like you can force the level back down by one. It's just that you have to level up in order to progress to the next section. And I really didn't like that, so it made me rage quit. I'm baby. I want my games to be relatively comfy. I don't really have that issue with Star Rail. I feel like Star Rail has like really dumbed down combat, so I haven't had an issue with being like Equilibrium level 5 or whatever. But like, frickin' Genshin's hard. Genshin's combat is difficult. So when I was already struggling in like at the end of like world difficulty 1, and it was like basically telling me I was going to be forced up to 2 if I wanted to progress the story, I was like, well, I don't want to do that, and so I didn't. What turned you away from it? Bad practices or EOS? Oh, for Idler 7? No, Idler 7's still going. I think the gacha is kind of rough over there. Like, lots of limited cards, way less permanent cards. They do a lot of reruns, though, like for events and for character birthdays and such. So I guess it could be worse. But like, Idle 7 also took forever to really upgrade itself. It just had its 10-year anniversary, which is fucking crazy. And it only just got like a major overhaul in like how, in like game UI and like character art and like all of that stuff. It was kind of just not really being taken care of in a way that it should be. The story is like the main draw for Idler 7 compared to like everything else that the game offers. And that is still really good. Like, I paid attention to a lot of the story updates, and I would like read translations and stuff because I wanted to know what was happening in the story. But like, the actual gameplay is kind of bad. But now they're like changing their whole story around, I think, so that they can try to make it feel more eternal once like their actual main story is over. And I don't really know how I feel about that, because a lot of people have been wanting the Idler 7 characters to age for a very long time, but they have not aged. We're supposed to believe that all of the events that have happened within the story are happening within the same year because they don't want the high school characters to no longer be in high school. There's only 3 of them, but like, it's just like, come on. Please, let them grow up. Let them go to college. Oh my god. Give these babies an education. I remember seeing this picture of someone taking out a 10K loan on their car to roll on an FGO banner, and I think it's burned in my memory as a trauma response. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's terrifying. I could never, ever, ever, ever. Why spend money on anime girl PNGs in a game that aren't guaranteed when you can spend $5 when you can send $5 a month to an anime girl who talks back and makes fun streams? When I first read that, I was like, you spend it on an anime girl who talks back and makes fun of you for donating. That's me. But no, I do think that there's just like overall better ways that you could use your money doll hairs. Obviously, it's not my right to judge because I've been there. But I think it's also because I've been there that I'm just like, I don't know, spend smarter. Think smarter. Legendary picture depicting bad spending. For real, I've never seen it, but just the thought is like terrifying to me. Also for Fate Grand Order of all games, weak. I say that lovingly. I know some people here do like Fate. Ay, ay, ay. That's like all the ones I don't know too, except the pink demon, but she's usually complaining about 6s and 9s. I like faster paced combat with more interactive gameplay. Then again, here I am going to put a few hundred hours into Digimon Story Time Stranger. Well, it's different when it's like a franchise or an IP that you love, you know? It becomes a lot easier to play games that you normally wouldn't when it's for an IP that you like. Like, I would try all of the Tales Gotcha games when they released because of the fact that they were Tales. They took advantage of the fact that I was willing to play anything because it had the Tales branding on it. Even if I didn't really care for the Gotcha type. Like, I literally played like a Tales puzzle game Gotcha. Just because it was Tales. Not worth it. It ended service within like a year or two. Which I guess is not as bad as what happened to poor Christoria. Poor Christoria getting frickin' curb stomped before they even made it to their 1 year. Or I think it was like just past their 1 year and then they got destroyed. Crazy. Obliterated. The idea of a Tales Match 3 sounds cursed. It existed. It was fun for a little bit, and then it wasn't. Funny enough, that was also the game that had a crossover with Idler 7, because Idler 7 is also a Bandai Namco IP. So when people are, like, telling me about how cursed Bandai Namco is, I'm just like, I know. All of my core fandoms are Bamco. Bamco owns Idolmaster, the Tales series, and Idler 7. If you think I don't fucking know how bad Bandai Namco is, you've got another thing coming. I've been in these goddamn trenches. Okay? I get it. Bamco the Woat. So fucking true, bestie. Not terrible conceptually, but very who asked for this, actually. I wish I could tell you, because I really don't know what made them create Tales of Link. It was certainly a choice. Oh, they're cars. I never would have guessed it by those shapes. Me literally making a car park? What do you mean those are cars? Your model's starting to lag, the skyscraper's starting to hit the PC. It's not a skyscraper this time. I think for this one it's because there's so many different colors. And I guess it is just like wider. But we're fine. I used to be into a gacha. I spent money on it. It shut down a bit over a year later. For that reason, I never spend on gachas unless it's been around for at least a year and I'm playing actively. As I've said, if you gotta do what you gotta do to, like, take care of yourself and your spending, then more power to you, man. Because, like, for real, this shit can be ass. Okay. Train station. Choo-choo. Isn't it awesome when you find a fun game and then the publisher enters the most evil corpo of all time competition? With the intention to win. What's your opinion on the Persona 5 EOS curse? I think it's very fucking funny. What is it with Persona 5 and just causing gacha game death? I don't know why it keeps happening, but it's so funny that it consistently happens. And then every time a new series announces a collaboration with Persona 5, everyone's just like, oh no, watch out. Watch out, no! But it's happened too many times for it to be just a coincidence. Atlas is like, we need everybody around us to perish. Because didn't they also just release their own, like, Persona 5 gacha game? Maybe that's why. Maybe they've, like, known they've wanted to make this gacha, and now they're trying to get rid of every other gacha so that everyone is forced to play the Persona gacha. Shoutouts to the Persona 5 gacha giving us the Subway Slammer. I feel so bad that people just can't take that guy fucking seriously because of how it was localized. I think it's because gacha games near end of life are buying rights for a collab with Persona 5 thinking it will save them. Yeah, I guess. But you would think that if a game knows that they're at end of life, they would not be spending money to collab with fucking Atlas. But then again, what do I know? Persona 5 is siphoning life force to stay relevant forever. Atlas's master plan. Stop asking for Persona 6. You're going to get 6 more years of Persona 5. Persona 6, more like Persona 6 more years of 5. It's also just so crazy because Persona 5 is the one game that I like haven't played. So I don't understand why it's this one that gets like this much attention in this way. I know a lot of people like it, but I guess I just don't get it because I haven't played it. At least Granblue managed to dodge the curse. Granblue is being held together by a shoestring and dreams are very, very powerful. Then 6 more years of Super Persona 6 afterwards. Granblue is eternal. This is true. It's honestly kind of iconic how they've managed to stay alive this long. This is honestly par for the course for Atlas. They did the same thing to P4 when that was the current game, I guess, but there was like way less collaboration for P4. Like P4 did have the spotlight for quite a while. Then P5 came and it's like everybody wanted P5 specifically and not P4 anymore. But I mean, then again, we do have that P4 remake coming out eventually. So like, maybe Persona 4 will have a resurgence. Because it's what it needs, right? I'm still kind of pissed off that they're remaking 4 so soon after releasing the Persona 3 remake. They barely gave that game time to breathe, and now they're already working on 4. Crazy. Smash Bros definitely helped bring attention to P5. That's true. Hitomi and I often talk about this, but the reveal of Joker being part of Smash during one of the last E3s was probably like the height of gaming community in more recent memory. Like just the unified hype of everybody. It was like, wow, finally a Persona character in Smash. Wow, a Persona 5. Because the announcement was like done in a really cool way. It was pretty awesome. right. I remember I saw like a short the other day because I'm like logged into like the Sonic fandom, I guess, right now for some reason. But it was talking about how a lot of people in Japan aren't actually that familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog as an IP, besides the fact that he is a character in Smash. Like, despite Sonic being made in Japan, like by Sega, a lot of like the Japanese gaming community doesn't really know him as much because the series always kind of pandered more to Americans and like American style gaming. So a lot of people only know him from being a Smash character. Sonic from Smash versus being Sonic the Hedgehog. Maybe I'm misremembering, wasn't Joker's announcement at the Game Awards? Oh, Game Awards. True. That could also be it. I honestly don't remember. I conflate those events all the time now, especially because the Game Awards has kind of replaced E3. Boop, 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 boop. That's really funny to me since that's their mascot. They're like, yeah, Sonic from Smash Brothers. Sonic just picked up way more in the West. I was talking about this with some friends a while ago. Sonic is somewhat strangely not popular in Japan at all. I remember getting culture shock when I heard the Sonic movies bombed over there. Yeah. They're just not interested in him. But it was basically made by a portion of Sega that was like, American game, go burr. Like Sonic in the JP, like Sonic's JP voice actor says a lot of like random English because Sonic is meant to be a very Americanized boy, TM. So I guess that could be part of it, like the fact that it's very like American styling. I remember reading this when it came to Shadow the Hedgehog as well, but Shadow the Hedgehog was meant to be more of like a very like American core video game, which is probably why Shadow has a gun and curses. Though they do curse a little bit in like all of the Sonic games in Japan because of like different rules for game rating and stuff. I wonder if Yakuza will ever surpass Sonic. Yakuza has been gaining quite a bit of popularity. You will be hard-pressed to get that to happen just because Yakuza games are still JRPGs. And they are still very long. I think one of the benefits of Sonic games, particularly like in the West, is just the fact that they are short and they are also very easy to speedrun. Like entire sections of games done quick are dedicated to Sonic because a lot of those games are easy to speedrun by nature of Sonic being fast go burr boy. Sonic loves chili dogs, Shadow loves the Second Amendment. Shut up. Instead of remakes, game devs should make more discs and force you to buy a PS2. That would be kind of crazy. Could you imagine if instead of making like a PlayStation 6 or whatever, they were just like, what if we made PlayStation 2 2? You know, like how Nintendo is trying to bring back the fucking Virtual Boy for whatever reason? I mean, people who freaking nut over nostalgia would go crazy for that. Feel free to take my idea, Sony, just for a small cut. Small cut of proceeds, please. Oh my gosh. Right, I forgot this is like a train track, so it is kind of long. Ah! Amusing me that you've been talking about Bamco's many failures, and on Thursday you'll be playing the offshoot of yet another failed Bamco product. Are you talking about Blue Protocol? Yeah. I saw a content creator that I like play in the beta test, and I kind of wanted to just check it out to see what it's like. Will I like it? I don't know. Probably not. I don't usually like MMOs. But I want to try it. And also, like, I don't usually play games when they release. Which is like a failing of mine as a content creator. So I feel like I should at least try to stay on top of trends a bit more often. Games are expensive, so it's harder to buy the, like, big game releases. But since this is a game that is releasing and it is free, I was like, well, I'll try it. The worst that happens is I hate it, and then we just stop playing really early. It's easy to dunk on Shadow the Hedgehog in retrospect, but I feel like everyone forgets that Edgy was very much in at the time, and Sega was just giving the people what they were asking for. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Personally, I always thought that Shadow the Hedgehog was a good game. I know people make fun of it for being edgy, but, like, I think it's good. It's campy in a way that's really fun. But people are scared of camp. They just want to call it cringe. They don't get it like I get it. By small cut, she means $1 million. Yeah, that would be a small cut, because they'd probably make, like, billions off of this idea. They can part with $1 million. How about 1% royalty? Can I have 2% royalty? Don't get too greedy. I'm asking. Can I have 2? I would prefer 2. 1.5%? And a free copy of Sonic Racing? Sonic Racing Crossworld, please? You think they're made of money? 0.75? No! Would you rather have $1 or $2? Am I getting this amount forever? Like, would I be getting $1 every day versus $2 or $2 every day? Best we can do is an autographed picture of John Hamm. I don't know who the fuck that is. So, sorry. Not doing it. No deal. Let's just go back to the 1%. Unfortunately, I am uneducated as frick. Small indie company, please understand. Main guy from Mad Men? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. Sorry. never seen it, sorry. Horribly uneducated Oni from Onigashima, please understand. I guess more so like culturally uneducated. I don't fucking watch movies. All of you guys are like, I don't read. I hate reading books. Books are literally the devil. I'm the same way, but with movies. I just don't get the appeal, man. Every time someone asks me what my favorite movie is, I genuinely don't know how to answer. I forgot you don't consume Western media. I do. I just don't... I don't do that stuff. It's a TV show. Same thing. I'm honestly the exact same way with TV shows. What do you mean, all of you guys? I read. You are like one exception. Anytime I bring up books, the majority of chat's just like, oh god, she's talking about books again. I don't fucking read. I can't read. I literally can't read. Oh yes, hello, Hanaki, welcome in. I don't read, but I also don't watch movies much, man. What's it like living in a world where you consume zero media? Kinda wish that were me. No media. Come on. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. I can't read. See, this is what I'm fucking saying. You'd think text chatters would be more literate. They literally are not. It is not possible. First Sunday stream I've been to in ages, called out sick. Oh no! Sorry you're not feeling good. That always sucks. May it go away quickly. I am manifesting. It is Sunday today, right? Yes, it is Sunday. Yes, sir, it is. I never call out stuff at my managers are like, is he dead? Well, it's good that you knew that you needed to take a break on this day. Like, if the sickness is that bad. Take it easy. I'll say the genres I like to read are limited. Feel like it's too late to expand now. It's never too late. It is literally never too late. It can be hard to expand, but it's never too late. I enjoy the act of reading enough that I am willing to try most things. The only thing that I'm like resistant to expand out to is sci-fi. That's just because of the amount of times that I've tried it and not liked it. But it's never too late to try. You never know. You might end up finding the thing that changes your mind on that whole genre. You could say the same thing to me about sci-fi, and maybe you're right. I just haven't found a sci-fi that appeals to my brain yet. Kind of wish 3-day weekends are the standard. 2 days always feels too short. Oh, for weekends? Yeah. I can see that. It is nice to be able to have, like, one extra day. Would you want it to be Friday, or would you want it to be Monday? For the 3rd day off, I mean. Wednesday. That's I guess. But like, if you want like a 3-day weekend, doesn't that mean that the days should be next to each other? Friday for me, fuck Mondays. That's fair. I think if I was going to have like a 3-day weekend, I would probably choose... Monday doesn't deserve a redemption arc? Man, this guy really fucking hates Mondays. We got a real Garfield in chat. I don't know, Seen, you ready for Monday or Friday, Tuesday or Thursday? Arrangements invented by Satan because he hates us. Well, that's the thing. Either way you choose this, you're either making Tuesday the new Monday or you're making Thursday the new Friday. So I guess that's also the other part of this question. Like, would you rather have Tuesday be treated like Monday, or would you rather have Thursday be treated like Friday? I feel like Tuesday and Thursday are generally very nothing days, so it's interesting to think that they would have more cultural importance if we had a 3-day weekend. What if we got every other day off? So I guess that would mean you would either be working Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? I have a feeling most people would choose Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, because then that would mean they overall get more days off. Personally, I'd like Thursday to be the end of the week. I can see the vision for that. Because there are so many times where Thursdays feel like Fridays already. Probably because you just want the week to end faster. It would be nice if it like actually ended after Thursday. Always a hospital graveyard shift, 12-hour days, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., 7 in a row, then 7 off. Oh God, I don't know. I don't think that'd be very healthy for a lot of people. Unfortunately, we live in a very diurnal society. And I think working that amount of like graveyard shifts would not be healthy for like a good amount of people. Conversely, I do think it would be nice if we could adjust society to be more accommodating to night owls. And not be so entirely reliant on the diurnal sleep pattern. We can't do something simple and efficient like every other day because some dolt made our weeks an odd number. Yeah, exactly. It would be uneven. Also, yes, diurnal is the opposite of nocturnal. Monday is the day everyone dreads, whether or not it is on Monday or gets delayed to Tuesday. The same dread is still waiting for you. With that in mind, I'd rather have a Friday off over a Monday off for that reason. I feel like if the vibe is that the week ends sooner by like ending on after Thursday, I do think that makes getting through the week easier, even if you still work Monday. But I guess it depends on how much society shifts to accommodate these changes. Like, if life is still in that kind of mindset where, like, Friday is, like, a good day to, like, chill or, like, hang out or party or whatever. I'm not a partier, but, like, imagine. I do think that it would be more beneficial to have that day off, because I feel like a lot of, like, more fun things start on Fridays. Versus if you just had Monday off, it would just be, like... I don't know. It'd just be like taking a sick day, but every week. There's just something about that vibe that isn't as appealing. I think we know who that dolt is. God? The Lord? Monday's off gives you time to recover, but like from what? Like Friday being a work day and then you're off Saturday and Sunday. I guess Monday is just a third day to do more resting, but like, wouldn't Monday just become the day when you prep to start the next week? Because that's what the weekend currently is. Like Saturday is the day where you do the most faffing about, and then Sunday is supposed to be the day where you do technically rest, but then you also have to spend a good portion of the day preparing to restart the work week. The correct answer is Friday, by the way, because then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are unchanged. Thursday becomes Friday. Monday off makes Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday is now hump day. Then you skip Thursday because Friday is Friday. Yeah. I see what you mean. I do think Friday is the ultimate better day to take off. In my opinion. To be fair, there aren't many ways to split 365/364 into convenient chunks. Indeed, this is very true. You get Monday off, but psychically you get Thursday off. Yeah. I see the vision. What is 364? That would be for leap year, no? Bum. 364 is 53 weeks? 52 weeks? What? Oh. Okay, you're taking the days and you're dividing by the number of weeks in a year. Okay. I didn't read it right. I didn't realize you meant it as a division problem. My bad. Whoopsies. Okay, but if you're looking at it like division, that does make more sense. Aren't many ways to split 365 by 364 into convenient chunks. Naruhodo? 364 is an even 52 weeks. Also 13 moon cycles even, but we take 365 but 0.25 times days to orbit, or, yeah. Days to orbit, so the year's 52 weeks and 1 or 2 days. That's why holidays float by 1 day every year. Oh. I am learning. Asterisk because 365.25 isn't exactly accurate, which is why we have the Gregorian calendar. I sees. Leap years float too. That's why your birthday goes like W, then Thursday, then Friday, then F the Sunday, then M. Oh. Makes sense. How many layers is this? Not too many. My birthday's on a Saturday this year when I have to work. No. No, the worst. Having to work on your birthday really does suck. It's not like you're gonna get anything for it. They're just like, happy birthday. Focus on your work, stupid. And it's just like, man. The one time, my one OL job, full-time job, they actually made it like a requirement that you take your birthday off. Like that would be included as part of your paid holiday. Whatever day your birthday is, you get that day off and it's paid. So that was kind of neat. Or well, it would have been, but I wasn't working there anymore by the time my birthday happened. Because I started in May, and then as I've said, I got let go the moment we came back from New Year's. So I was let go the month before my birthday would have kicked in. Damn it. Sometimes it'd be like that. But yeah, I did think that that was kind of cool of that job to do, though. At most of us here's ages, not like anyone else celebrates their birthdays either. I feel like a lot of us would just like a day where we can do nothing and eat unhealthy food. Yeah, you have to choose to take that day off, though. That's the hard thing about being an adult. Is choosing to just have that day be a day where you do frickin' nothing. But a lot of people feel guilt over that kind of thing. Which is why I thought that that company was kind of cool for making it like a mandatory, like, part of your paid holiday. Because it's like nobody should work on their fucking birthday. Or should feel like they have to work on their birthday. ba ba ba. This game is lovely piano music. Oh yeah, I do really love the backing track in this game. It's like peak comfy. Not just the fact that I'm just sitting here coloring in squares, but like the fact that the piano track is so soothing. It's a good mix of like classical music and then I think like just other piano arrangements of songs. It is very lovely. Oh, back to that work policy. The other thing I remembered is that if your birthday fell on a weekend that year, since we normally didn't work weekends due to being like a typical office, you had the option to choose if you wanted to be off the Friday before or the Monday after the weekend. Like it didn't matter whether your birthday was Saturday or Sunday. You could just choose if you wanted your birthday day off to be Friday before the weekend or Monday after the weekend. Going back to our conversation of 3-day weekends. But you could choose it, which I thought was kind of cool. It really accommodates for like if you're going on like a little weekend trip or something, you get like extra time to recuperate. Or if you are crazy and you partied over the weekend. It's like I'm at my nearby Asian market. This is exactly the type of music they play. Interesting. Most of the Asian markets that I've ever been to play like J-pop. I don't know if I could properly shop if I was listening to this kind of music though. I'd get too relaxed. I'd just be like, nah, I'm chilling. What was I here to get again? I've been chilling? Hell yeah, dude. That's what you do on the Yuno Hanaki channel. When we're not talking shit, we are chilling. Somehow, even when we talk shit, it is being done in a chill manner, though. I'm just a cool guy. Or listening to Yuno fangirl over something like Tails or Pokemon. Or women or men. This is true. Ba-ba-ba-bum.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Yes, an offering. Daniel Smith, thank you for the $10 tip. Yuno Hanaki channel, 70% chill, 25% smack talk. Okay, so we're at 95 already. 5% Yuno thinking she's in charge. It should be more than that. But always 100% Tupperware. Are you sure? You haven't really brought up the Tupperware all that much recently. I don't know if it's 100% anymore, to be honest with you. To be honest, I don't know if that's true anymore. Speaking of ZA in 2 weeks, God, I know. I have to wait for my Twitch payout before I can buy it, though. I've had to focus on getting my bills in, and I'm quite broke at the moment. So I'm not going to be able to get, like, a fancy pre-order version of ZA, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. It's no big deal. Just being able to get the game is enough for me. Which I should be able to do once my Twitch payout is in and I pay the remainder of my bills. Understandable, yeah. It be how it do. But yeah, Pokemon's definitely like on my list of priorities to get a hold of as soon as I get my bills squared away. It sucks having to get it this early. I'm so used to being able to wait until like November, December to get it. But like, I guess it's fine. I guess like, whatever. I just liked having it come out closer to the holidays because it just felt like it was easier to have the money on hand. But this is overall just like a weird month financially. Weird, financially draining month is what it is. On the bright side, though, I only have to, according to the weather report, I only have to run my AC for like one more day, and then I can finally turn it off for the season, I think. Yippee! Little bit of conservation of money! Love that for me. How long do you have to wait for the payout? I believe Twitch payout is usually the week of like the 15th of the month. So for me, it's probably going to come out like the 16th or the 17th. It should send me an email whenever the payout goes out though, so I'll know. But I am pretty sure that it comes out like that. Middle of the month, usually. I was going to say nothing is stopping you from waiting until I remember spoilers. Yeah, unfortunately, there's going to be tons of spoilers. Also, a lot of people that I like are probably going to play the game as soon as it comes out, which means I won't be able to watch any of their streams. So I'm just like, I need to be able to stay on top of it. Crying, sobbing, throwing up, whatever, etc. We're gonna have to start coming up with French names for my girlie. Because as we all know, I make OCs whenever I play a Pokemon game, rather than naming them after myself. So we're gonna need to come up with a French name for my girl, since we're going to be in the Kalos. I hope ZA does well. Hopefully it'll encourage longer development cycles and higher quality. I hope so too. I've heard people say generally good things about it. So I'm going in with like slight optimism. Not much, but slight. Just a little bit. It looks like it'll be fun. At the very least, for somebody like me, I'm excited for like the character customization options. And the characters seem like they are all quite charming. So I'm looking forward to like hopefully some decent character storytelling. That's all I want. I liked the character storytelling in Legends Arceus, so maybe? Miel, Charlotte, no. You can always try using something like buy now, pay later. I guess that's true. Oh, thank you for the stretch. A firm doesn't charge you until the agreed upon date, but you can pay them sooner, like when the Twitch payout comes through. That's fair. Or Sophie. Oh, my Pokemon Scarlet protagonist is Sophia, so I can't do Sophie. My Scarlet Violet girly was Sophia. Still wondering about that other Game Freak game since that looks like it has a higher budget. Oh yeah, I'm also super excited for that one. I want to try it with it when we get more info on it. I don't even think it has a name yet. But it looked really good in the trailers that I saw. Would love to try. Hopefully it's not too expensive, smile. What kind of French name are you thinking? Stronger emphasis on vowels or consonants? I don't know. I didn't really think that far ahead. I usually just like look at a list of names that fit the region and then go from there. But yeah, when it came to Scarlet and Violet, we were looking at Spanish names and I picked out Sophia. So unfortunately, I can't do Sophie. Sophie's very cute, though. Like, I don't know what kind of character she's going to be yet, so that's, like, also part of the problem. I always have to pick the name before I've, like, established what her character is gonna be. Amelie? Isn't Sophia Greek? Not the way that it was spelled. S-O-F-I-A. Sophia. Felicitate? Maybe? I feel like it's still too close to, like, the Sophie vibe. You saying just without the accents reminded me of the one part of Diamond and Pearl where Barry is like, we don't have Pokeballs, you know, P-O-K accent E balls. People give Barry so much shit, but he was such a funny rival. Joan? Forgetta, please. Elodie is actually really pretty. Hold up. Elodie could be good. Pausers. That might go hard, actually. Oui. No, I kind of like Elodie. I'll have to think on it more, obviously, and I'll probably have, like, my own list once we actually go to start the game. Try things out. Napoleona, shut up. jot it down. It's giving strawberry blonde or blonde vibes. Yeah, I was kind of thinking I'm gonna choose a blonde girly. I'm probably gonna choose default blonde. However, if the character customization at the start of the game lets me just pick whatever color I want to be my true default, then we might be there a while. Gamers, we might be there a while. It looks like the default for the main trainer is like the brown hair, but if they let you choose like they usually do, then I can probably pick a blonde. Oh, thank you for another stretch. Hanaki, good morning to you too. Which game is this for? Legends ZA. You can choose blonde, I believe. Yippee. Let's go. I mean, they usually do let you decide. I'm just saying that I know that the default color for the trainer is usually the brown-haired one. But yeah, I was also thinking blonde. If there's an option to do strawberry blonde, that would be fun. However, I do know that the customization in this game allows for two-toned hair, so you can bet your ass this girl is going to have two-toned hair. I just don't know what the second tone is going to be yet. You can bet your bottom dollar she's going to have two-toned hair. I may not know what color yet, but that will happen. Maybe I'm leaning towards strawberry blonde though, because my Pokemon Sun character was like full platinum blonde. So I might want to go for like a strawberry blonde or something that's like lighter hair color, but not like full platinum. If she is full platinum, then we're gonna have to do something kind of dramatic with the two-tone, just to make them differentiated. I actually chose, fun fact, the first time I played Pokemon X and Y, I actually chose the male trainer. He was also blonde. I have a tendency to pick blondes. Remember back when I covered, Bride of Necro? I was not lying when I said I like blondes. Too many freaking blondes. Purple naturally? Maybe. Depends on shading. Or like it depends on like the like color of the Orpal. Strawberry blonde and green like Leafeon? Maybe. I would have to try and get a Leafeon onto her team. Bless me. Apchew. Big sneeze. Thank you for the bless yous. Gentle only prefer blondes, me for real. But yeah, I'm kind of liking the name Elodie. I might have to think on it more. But it would be nice to play with color palettes I don't usually do. Which would probably be green. Or like maybe like more warm tones. Because normally I tend to go for cool tones or like pink. Which is like pastel. Technically still a warm tone, but like, you get what I mean. But I tend to go for cool tones a lot with a lot of my kiddos. My X and Y protagonist, I chose the boy. He mostly had like neutrals. Sun and Moon. For Sun, she was very pastel. I like basically, if it wasn't in pink, I didn't buy it. And then my Ultra Sun protagonist, because I did also get Ultra Sun, she was like the opposite. She was like primarily black and white, and then she had like splashes of purple in her wardrobe occasionally, but mostly wore black and white. She also wore the more like tomboyish options, and I never changed her out of the like default like bedhead tied ponytails, because I thought that that just suited like the messy tomboy aesthetic for her better. Looking forward to that Pokemon ZA 24-hour endurance stream. You say JK, but that is probably going to happen. An excuse to play the game for work and use it as a tax write-off? Say less. Did you buy that gaudy Lurantis dress? No, I don't think so. But yeah, that was my Ultra Sun. My Sword and Shield protagonist, she was like black and blue. Lots of dark colors, but I really chose like the dark, like kind of denim blue. She also dressed kind of tomboyish, but like less tomboyish than my Ultra Sun protagonist. Yeah, she was black and blue. And then Scarlet and Violet. I don't think she had a set palette. Maybe? No, she did, actually. I made her hair purple. Her hair was like the light purple color. So she wore a lot of like purples and pinks. And then I think gray was her other like accent color. And then my Legends Arceus character. Also very neutral. I think I chose like the more powdery blues for a lot of her outfits. And then she had like the auburn hair, like the pinkish, like auburn shade. I think. It's been a while since I've thought about her. I'm amazed I remember them as much as I do. But I actually got art of my Sun protagonist and of my Sword and Shield protagonist. That's probably why I remember how they look still, even though it's been so long. The outfits weren't great in Arceus. They really weren't. I had more fun picking hairstyles. I had like... Okay, here's the tea on my Arceus OC. I had it that she wore glasses for like a majority of like the beginning part of the game, and then after like one of the big plot twist moments, she like gets injured in that particular fight, and it causes damage to her eye, so she like has a dramatic haircut scene, and then she restyles her bangs to cover one of her eyes. And she also stops wearing glasses. I had a lot of fun with the characterization for Legends Arceus because I liked the isekai concept of it. So it was a lot of fun to experiment with like figuring out how I wanted that character to be dealing with the world. I know technically like the most common fanon theory is that it's just the Diamond and Pearl protagonist getting isekai'd, but that idea makes me sad because that means that that champion like left all their Pokemon behind and is never going to be able to go home. So instead of that, I just had it be like a more proper like isekai scenario. Ow, the edge. Don't make fun of her. People have experiences like that. Also, it wasn't LASIK. She just chose to stop wearing her glasses. Because how could it be LASIK? They were in the past. Honestly, it's because she was one of those girls who was like just wearing glasses for the aesthetic. She didn't actually need them to see. She didn't actually need them to see. She just liked them for the stylish reasons. Someone who hasn't played Legends Arceus yet, I really have to say I'm looking forward to ZA. Interesting that you didn't play Arceus. I don't think you need to in order to be able to enjoy ZA. I think it's interesting that ZA is doing like an opposite approach and is going into the future versus Arceus is going to the past. I was kind of like shocked by that. Because I thought that the whole point of Legends was going to be focusing on like origin stories of certain legendaries, but I guess if it's still going to be focusing on Zygarde, we are still going to get that story. It's just being told in the future instead. Some people probably are also going to vibe a lot more with the like future setting than like being sent to the past. I figure ZA might flesh out some Legends Arceus story points. I don't know. I personally don't think so. There might be like one or two references perhaps, but I'm personally not thinking that they're going to be too intrinsically tied to one another. Besides the fact that they focus on legendaries, I don't really foresee any other correlation. Imagine getting sent to a fantasy world of fun and whimsy and not being able to enjoy it because you break your glasses frame one. Well, particularly if you're the kind of person who can't see without them, then yeah, that would probably suck. But also, I always had the thought that the Legends Arceus world was a little bit scary. Like, it's a scarier version of Sinnoh. So I always had the thought that, like, you start out being, like, more chill, but then you are not chill. But then it is not chill. Not chill at all. You come in thinking it's going to have all of the joy and whimsy of your bibliobeums, and then it is not whimsy, and you are in fact like struggling and going through hell. Know what I mean? That was how I interpreted it anyway. I planned to play Legends Arceus, but the gamer problem is backlogs. Well, I feel like you should have upped it in your backlog so you could be ready for ZA. Unless you're also planning to put ZA in your backlog now. When it comes to stuff like that, like if I know a sequel is coming for something that I'm interested in or whatever, I will try to up something in my backlog to get to it a bit faster. Just so I have the chance to actually prepare. But like I said, I don't think you really have to worry about that as much with the Legends branch of games, just because, like, I don't think they're going to be too directly correlated. I am playing through X and Y as part of my Soul Link with Hitomi, and that has allowed me to kind of prep for getting back into Kalos at least. I'd probably sooner recommend just doing that. Just so you can kind of refresh yourself on some plot points. Watch someone fight an Alphamon and randomly other mons would hit them from downtown. Yeah. The Pokemon are a lot more aggressive in ZA, it seems. Which is kind of crazy. Everybody's out to get you in this fucking city. The world is so safe, 10-year-olds can travel alone with their Pokemon on a grand adventure. The world is so broken that 10-years must travel 10-year-olds must travel alone with their Pokemon on a desperate grind for survival. Well, like, we've talked about this before. I feel like there's a lot of, like, fanon material that kind of, like, interprets, like, why kids can go on these adventures the way that they do. And there's, like, ways to kind of interpret it to where, like, the idea is that it is, like, a utopian society, just generally speaking, right? Like, everybody helps everybody. There isn't any worries about, like, healthcare because staying at a Pokemon Center is free. The anime shows that Pokemon Centers also are, like, free hotels for trainers to stay in, probably because they are kids and they don't always want these kids to have to camp. But the kids do camp a lot, like, if they aren't near a Pokemon Center. But generally, people are just, like, very kind and helpful towards trainers. It's also probably why you have the whole, you can walk into a stranger's house and they will just, like, give you items or, like, ask to trade with you or whatever. Like, they're used to the fact that these kids need, like, shelter while they're traveling. So everybody's just, like, very nice to these kids. I will say, though, it's not always 10-year-olds anymore. A lot of these later games have started aging up the protagonists to where they're, like, 13, 14. I believe it's implied that the protagonist in, like, Legends Arceus, for example, is, like, 14 or 15. So they are starting to age up the protagonists because they realize that being 10 and going on these kinds of adventures is a little bit too crazy. So there has been a little bit of aging up going on. Legends Arceus is still in my backlog too. I was completing the Pokédex missions. Doesn't matter since it'll be a year plus until I get a Switch 2. That's fair. If you got time until you get a Switch 2. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the Switch 1 version of the game because I don't really care all that much. It's also gonna be a while before I get a Switch 2, probably. I just don't have the means. Your girl doesn't have the means. And I'd love to crowdfund for it, but I don't know. There's just, like, other things I should probably be prioritizing financially for, like, financial goals. Doesn't feel right asking for a Switch 2. But I was just gonna go ahead and get the Switch 1 version of ZA, and then if I really like it, I guess I could just get the Switch 2 one. But I've heard that they're, like, compatible with each other. Like, you can still play the Switch 1 version on the Switch 2. And then conversely, I think you can technically still play the Switch 2 version on the Switch 1. I don't really understand what the difference is in that regard then. Teenage Mutant Pokemon trainers. That or the parents have been too vocal? I don't think so. I don't think parents particularly care. I think they just know that like, the kids are playing a character that is going on a journey. Parents get outraged about a lot of things, but I don't think they'd get outraged about the implication of it being a 10-year-old. Like, I think they'd feel worse if they knew that their 10-year-old was playing as a teenager and being thrown into, like, teenage shenanigans. Think of it like like this, if nothing else, the Switch 2 is something needed for streaming-related activities. I guess, but define needed. Like, there's certain games that you can only play on the Switch 2, but, like, do I really need them? It's hard to justify it in my brain. Like, I was considering. I'm just not sure at the moment. That said, I do really want the Switch 2 for Kirby Air Riders. I want Air Riders so bad. The fact that it's releasing this year is so freaking bad for me. Grr. I don't know. But, like, since this is still, like, a primary source of income for me, I guess I get nervous asking for too many, like, quote-unquote luxury items. Because I still want to make sure that I am making enough to pay my bills. I don't want everyone to be like, oh, Yuno wants a Switch 2, and then all of it goes to the Switch 2, and I'm just like, but my bills, guys. You know? Like, I don't want to have to make it be like you have to pick and choose or whatever. Or, like, you choose and then I end up being like, no, not that one. Despite being the one who set the goal. It's weird in my brain. The worms in my brain don't like it. Are you more excited for Air Riders or Sonic Crossworlds? Air Riders. I was going to say that's a tough choice, but I do think I want Air Riders more. Like, I didn't pick up Crossworlds. Crossworlds is out, but I didn't pick up Crossworlds because that's a very expensive-ass game. So is, like, Air Riders is also going to be expensive, and it's also only available for a console I don't have. So not only do I have to get the game, but then I also have to buy a whole new console versus just paying the $70 to get Crossworlds. But I think overall my hype exists more for Air Riders because I really loved Kirby Air Ride as a kid. I like Sonic. Sonic is also one of my, like, childhood franchises, but I feel like it's a lot easier to say no to Crossworlds than it is to Air Riders. If it helps, Sega games are known for dropping fast. Yeah, I was talking to Hitomi about it, and we were both saying that we'd probably be more willing to pick up Crossworlds, if it goes on sale for, like, the Steam winter sale. Obviously, it didn't go on sale for the autumn sale because it, like, just released, and just released games don't usually go on sale for Autumn Fest. Or, like, the season of that they just debuted. So it feels like it'll be a lot easier to just wait until maybe the Winter Fest to see if it has a little bit of a discount, so it's not as outrageous. But yeah, then like I said, the issue with as much as I want Air Riders is having to then pay for the Switch 2. So much freaking money. Over here. Makes sense to wait for a sale. Yeah. It makes sense you're hesitant about the Switch 2 since you have Steam, so Switch 2 will be for exclusives. Exactly. I'd have to be willing to get the Switch 2 because I know I would play enough of the exclusives that would be on it. And right now, for me, the Switch 2 really only has Air Riders and I guess the, like, more complete form of ZA. Like, that's it. Kinda. So it does, for me, that doesn't justify the cost because it's the cost of 2 games plus the console. If I knew that I was going to play more things on the console, then I'd probably be a little bit more willing to drop the money on it or to, like, have the crowdfunding goal for it. Right now, I don't know. I don't feel like there's enough yet. could change. I could just end up impulsively being like, no, you know what? I really want Air Riders. And then I'll actually put it up. Probably on Throne is where it would be. But like, I don't know. But like the other thing about the Switch 2 also is that like you have to get so much stuff separately, like the fucking memory card, the specialty memory card for the Switch 2 and all that stuff. And that's just really annoying to me. Like it wouldn't be just the console. I'd have to also ask for money to get the memory card, to get like a pro controller so that I could actually play games on stream. So I wouldn't have to just use the Joy-Cons unless I was forced to use the Joy-Cons. Like, the money for all of the accessories would also be kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know. It feels like a big to-do for something that I still kind of perceive as a luxury item, even if I do use it for work. Big box games are getting expensive. It's often a hard sell for me with a good Steam sale, you can grab 3 games for $10. I know, right? I was looking at what games were on sale on my wish list, and I was just like, man, I still don't have the money to get games right now. But some of these sale prices are really good. Compare that to, like, Nintendo, where things are occasionally on sale, but not really. And you're just like, man. Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar isn't your kind of game. Express micro SDs aren't greatly supported yet and are pricey. I am actually interested in Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar. One of my friends has been playing it and posting about it, and it does look kind of fun, but I still haven't beaten Legends of Azuma. Well, Guardians of Azuma, sorry. I haven't fully beaten it. I beat the main story, but I haven't maxed all the character bonds. They also just released a huge update. So now the max level bond you can have with all of the characters is 100 instead of 10, which is fucking crazy. What a leap. Like, I figured it would at least be 20, but they were like, nope. Bond level 10 to bond level 100. Holy moly. So there's a lot of level grinding to happen there for, like, bond stuff. I want to play through all of the characters' routes to see what it's like to marry them. So I have that I have to get through as well. It's like, I feel like Grand Bazaar is like in a similar niche to Rune Factory, so it's a bit difficult to like justify the purchase of just like another game of the same kind. But I do want to play Grand Bazaar. It seems fun. Any excuse to like marry pretty characters makes brain happy. Develops the joy chemical. What if I could, but right now I can't. I'm just not really in a position where I feel like I can spend on games at the moment. Pokemon's like my only exception, but that's because Pokemon is always my exception. You know how earlier you guys were talking about like saving a certain amount of money for your gacha games? For me, that's Pokemon. But I've known Pokemon was coming for a while. I read that. I was confused because it's not like bond limit unlocks anything else. They said that they added new recipes that you can unlock as you're increasing bond levels. And then at least for one character, for Fubuki, you can get a new costume if you get him to a certain bond level. But they said it's mostly for like recipes and stuff. I think there's like maybe like another benefit, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But you get like recipes for more stuff. Rune Factory 4 special is real cheap right now. Personal favorite. Yeah, I've been told Rune Factory 4 is really good. It's on my wish list. I like the odd farming sim, but spaced them out. I love that they did a free DLC with Sakuna. I'm surprised I liked Guardians of Azuma as much as I did, because I don't usually care for farming sims, but I also feel like they made it pretty easy, and a lot of stuff was like pretty nicely automated, or easy to like set up to be partially automated. I was told that it's not the same in other Rune Factory games. So going backwards might be tough for me, As somebody who liked the way they, like, changed the system around. Sounds about right. As much as I want Tales of Xillia 1, funds are tight right now. I will, however, buy the newest Trails game and Resident Evil 9 next year since there's still plenty of time to plan. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't like how often we've been getting announcements for games, like, really close to their release dates. Like, when I saw that Xillia 1 was coming out on Halloween, I was like, that's too soon. Especially because that's also Pokemon month. I don't know, dude. I don't think you can convince me. Even though I want to play Xillia, but I was also kind of banking on it being a combo of Xillia 1 and Xillia 2, so... meh. 4 Special is peak main Rune Factory. Guardians of Ozma is a spin-off, so the sim part isn't as involved. Fair enough. Wasn't planning on spending much this Steam sale. My birthday is pretty soon, so my family gave me a bunch of Steam gift cards. Ended up going on a bit of a shopping spree. Yippee! Happy early birthday! But also, hell yeah, gifts! Farming is a lot simpler compared to Sakuna. I know way too much about actual rice farming because of that game. Cute! I don't know that much about Sakuna. I do think it was on my wish list for a while, though, actually. Dang, get a load of this city. I built that. This, I did it. All me. And we still have 4 more sections. Wowie, wowie, wowie. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of games that look super interesting, but I kind of have to wait until they're on like a mega sale, big discount, go burr. Or I just have to be better with my money to have a little bit more spending money for luxury goods like that. I do usually write off certain games that I buy on Steam, though, because I can make content out of them by streaming them. I don't usually do that with, like, Switch games unless I know I'm going to stream that game a lot. Like, for example, I did write off Tamagotchi Plaza because I streamed it. Like, I bought it and then I immediately streamed with it, so that did count as a write-off. But I usually don't write off too many other things unless I know that it's gonna be, like, a big part of my stream content. In a way that I can, like, prove that I've, like, dedicated streams to that thing. Legends CA, I think, is one example where I would probably be able to write that one off, because I'm probably gonna marathon it, and then I'm also probably... I can see myself doing casual streams where we just, like, listen to music while I shiny hunt or something. You said you share a library with Hitomi, right? Perhaps you can split the price on some games. We do share a library, but that's more so because Hitomi buys more games actively compared to me. She has a little bit more of the disposable income for that. There have actually been a lot of times where I see something and I'm like, ooh, that's a good sale. And then I see that Hitomi already bought it and it's in our shared library. And I'm just like, oh, I don't have to buy it now. And then I just play it off of her library. We have, like, discussed the idea of splitting certain games depending on if we think we would both play it. The problem, though, is that, like, especially if it's a game we want to play together, we'd have to both have a separate copy, because we can't play the same copy of a game if it's on a shared library account, because Steam's annoying like that. So... Like, for example, if we wanted to go halvesies on Crossworlds, we could do it, but we'd have to play it separately. We would have to get, like, a separate copy, so that way we would be able to play it together. Do you get what I'm saying? So it works for certain kinds of games, but not for others. Yuno suddenly streams a lot of games at the end of the year for tax reasons. No. Every time I've bought games, I only do the write-off if I know I'm going to stream it, like, right away. Or if I'm, like, 90% sure I will stream it at some point. Otherwise, I do not count it as a write-off, mostly because if I'm ever audited by the tax man, I want to make sure I can actually prove that I have been using them for business. And that it's not just a pleasure purchase. I need to make sure that I have, like, very clear proof. No couch co-op for Crossworlds? I don't know if it actually has that functionality. I don't think it does. also really weird to use that functionality on Steam. They don't make it very intuitive. It's not very clear. Taxman, what's an Oni? Taxman's just like, you had a monetized YouTube channel, where'd that money go? And I'm just like, prison. Money jail. Heh. Anyways. But yeah, I don't know. Long story short, someday, the Oni will have a budget for gaming. That is all I can hope for, to be honest with you. I will get there one of these days. I will work hard. I did pick up the gig, so hopefully if I can put my nose to the grindstone and put in some good hours, I can make an okay amount of money on the side. I mean, I also feel very lucky that like Twitch has been going as well as it has so far. Like the Twitch payout that's coming is actually like kind of nice. I am looking forward to it. So I will work hard to be worthy of earning that every month. Granted, I think I'm only earning this much in this particular period because there was someone who was very generous. I think like half of these subs were gifted, but it's fine. But I want to work hard to make Twitch bigger because if we can get more months like this one, then I would probably not pay-ish as much. So we'll see. We'll see. I have to work extra hard on that. YouTube rep with a suspiciously membership-shaped belly. We must have lost him. John Twitch coming through where John YouTube failed. John YouTube failed epically. I still don't have a lot of faith in John Twitch, but I have slightly more faith in John Twitch, I guess. I don't know what I will do if something bad happens with John Twitch. Graduate, probably. At the end of the day, you don't need a gaming budget. As a VTuber, you've already done the hard part and got yourself a base model for free, though it meant being corpo for a bit. I guess so? I mean, we didn't have gaming budgets in Kawaii anyway. At least not in, like, a traditional sense. I've mentioned this before, but management did mention the idea of maybe turning my art budget into a gaming budget because they wanted me to play more trending games, but I didn't want to do that. Thanks to, what was it, Valorant? Valorant only gifted 2 subs during September. But there was a kind person who came in from a raid during the Fall in Love Festival that ended up gifting like 50 subs, which was very, very nice of them. Very nice. I was shocked. I was like, thank you. That's crazy. Try your luck with John, Kick, and Parrish. God, I do not want to fucking stream on Kick, guys. I know you guys are saying to, but like, I'm scared of that place. I don't believe in that place ethically. I do not want to do it. I don't care how much you suggested. I really don't want to. The ethics over there are scary, and people there are so mean, especially to VTubers. In all seriousness, no Kick? Yeah, no Kick, please. I'm baby. The place gives me bad vibes. It's like literally founded off of like gambling principles, going back to like predatory gacha practices. No. I've never even heard of Kick. It kind of started getting popular, especially because a lot of people who would get like quote unquote canceled or kicked off of Twitch would then get would then like sign a partnership with Kick. And they would make like pretty decent bank, but that's because all of the money from Kick's side came from gambling. Like Kick was originally started because gambling got banned on Twitch. So most people that were there were doing like gambling, like streaming, playing slot machines or whatever. And then they started trying to sign bigger creators by like promising them big amounts of money dollars. But then, like, most of the people who signed with Kick didn't re-sign. What would a streaming platform be like with no rules? Yeah, that's the other thing. So many, like Kick is a lawless land derogatory. Lots of bad events have happened because of them being on Kick streams. And then, like I said, people who get canceled, quote unquote, immediately, like, go over there and they start pandering to that audience. And it's just like, I personally don't want to subject you guys to that as much as I don't want to subject myself to that. I just don't think that we would vibe with that atmosphere. I just don't think that that would work for us as a collective. Not even just not work for me, but like us. I don't want to do that to you. Mm-hmm. So for now, we're going to ride with Twitch, and then should something terrible happen, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Anyways, that said, because I want to be able to lock in and focus on this gig a bit more, I will not be doing as many double streams during weeks. You'll notice that this week's schedule is a little bit, like, sparser than they've been. But that's because I'm trying to convince myself to lock in and, like, grind out the job to get money dollars, and then streaming will hopefully still also provide money dollars, but I won't have to be as reliant. But we'll see. Obviously, any support is still appreciated as I try to get through and get used to working. Hours maxing? Yeah, I'm trying to hours max. So I figure if I only stream once a day instead of twice, that will make it a bit easier. I do still occasionally stream twice a day, but that's for, like, certain situations. Honestly, once I beat Chrono Trigger, I probably will only stream once on Thursdays. I don't know what time yet. But, like, once Chrono Trigger is beaten, I think it'll be easier to choose just, like, to stream once on that day. Saturday is the only day that's going to be for sure doubles, because that's Twitch only day and then also members only day. So everything after that is probably just going to be one stream a day. I hope that that's understandable, because ya girls gotta make bank. And then hopefully if I'm making bank, we'll be able to do more cool stuff. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, since I finished the city section, I think this is a good place to call it. I have had the urge to yip, yap. And I feel like that has been satisfied. We have Onimon tomorrow night, so I hope you look forward to that. The topic's gonna kind of be about anniversary, but not really. It's more just like, that's happening soon. Hopefully I can pick an anniversary hashtag or something. Oh, God. Maybe I shouldn't even really put too much stakes into the anniversary, because we could also just put all of that energy into birthday, which is in a few months. Oniversary, I feel like that might be taken. It's probably quite likely to be taken. There are more Oni VTubers than just me. I don't know. I'll have to look into it some more. I got some suggestions, but I need to see if I can take any of them and make them actually work. Actually, I felt so stupid when I saw some of those suggestions, because one of the suggestions was fucking Setsubun, like it's not Setsubun, which is Yuno's birthday, but that means I should have just made my fucking birthday tag Setsubuno. Why did I not do that? I'm so dumb. I chose one and only day because I thought that that was cute, but like Setsubuno is literally right there. What the shit? I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Life really do be like that. When in doubt, pun. Like, Setsubuno is literally perfect. I'm so mad. I guess we're converting. Sorry, I hope you understand that birthday tag's probably gonna be Setsubuno from now on. Because that goes hard. Because now we can just do Setsubuno 2, Setsubuno 3. Like, that's awesome. That's so easy. Fuck. I'm so dumb! Anyways, as for the actual anniversary tag, I don't know if we're going to have one. Maybe. We'll see. Soft celebration for anniversary and then bigger birthday. Probably because the way things are looking, unless I get surprised this month, I'm probably gonna just push all of the debut stuff to birthday. Because the thing is, even if I do somehow manage to get the model, like, this month, we're approaching a point where it'd be very hard to plan for debut because it could fall in, like, Halloween time. And then, like, November, December, and January are all bad months because those are holiday season. And then also, February is technically a dead month, but that's also when my birthday is. So, I don't know. It would be a good way to inject life into the channel by having it be February, but I don't know. I don't really want to push it back that far, but I just feel like it would be really hard to do it any other time. Like, this was going to be the peak time period for me, but alas. Alas! So I don't know. We'll see. You'll be kept updated depending on how things are going. But at the very least, because my plans for anniversary have crashed and burned, probably it's gonna be a more chill celebration. And then we'll figure out when debut is gonna happen, I guess. New Year? Lots of people do, like, events for New Year's, though. If they're not hanging out with family, then they are streaming, but they're all doing, like, 12-hour marathons. I'm not gonna be able to have anybody there, like, celebrating me. I mean, obviously, you guys would probably try to be there if you could, but, like, I don't know, it feels like nobody would be able to, like, celebrate. Like, I want to see friends show up in chat, too, you know? But if everybody's busy doing their own New Year's events with their own chats, then nobody's gonna watch. I don't know. I have to think about it. That's a funny way of saying I'll be there no matter what. I know. You guys are really good to me in that regard. It's just like, I don't know. I want to see, like, other girls be excited about me, like other talents, other VTubers. Want to see other people be excited about the debut, which is sometimes hard to do during holidays because everybody wants to celebrate the holiday with their chat. Holidays are also really good for YouTube streamers, at least, because AdSense pays a lot more. So people will usually stream a lot during the holiday season, or, like, make content a lot during the holiday season to capitalize on that. I wouldn't be able to benefit from that. So I don't know. Problem of clashing events, February or non-event months sound better. Yeah, that's why I was thinking that, like, February would probably be the next soonest option if it wasn't going to be this month's anniversary. February's kind of all we got, bro. But it's fine. We'll make it work. Like I said, I'll let you guys know what I decide. I'll probably talk it out with some other people, hash out ideas, depending. But at any rate, we are wrapping up this stream for today, and then Onimon will talk a little bit about anniversary and, like, what we might want to do. But until then, thank you guys so much for choosing to spend time with me. I hope that you have a good rest of your time zone. And until I see you again, Yunotsu!